Hi everyone. For those who don't know it, I was a Google employee during 5 years and I conducted many coding interviews. Recently, an AI named GPT became very trendy. I have tested myself and overall I'm very impressed with it. Today, I will put it to the test by interviewing it in the same way I would have interviewed a new candidate in a coding interview back when I worked at Google. You can watch this to know what you could expect from a Google interview, or alternatively, just to watch it as a fun experiment with the state-of-the-art AI. I'm going to leave timestamps in the description below in case you want to skip it directly to the interview. But I have a few things to say before. For those who have followed my channel and are wondering about it, I haven't uploaded videos in a while. I think in more than a year. That is because I have been busy adapting myself to a lot of changes that have been happening in life. Right now, I don't have the editing tools nor the equipment that I used to record the last video. And also, I have been considering to shift the focus of the channel to something broader than just algorithms. However, when I got the idea for this video, I wanted to cover it as soon as possible. If you are wondering what's going to be the future of the channel, I'm going to talk about that in the community section. But for now, I want to go straight to the current topic. I know this isn't the first video about interviewing this specific AI of the style of Google coding interview. However, yesterday I talked with a friend that still works at Google, and he told me that he asked an interview question to ChatGPT and it responded remarkably well. He even told me that if a human would have responded the same as ChatGPT, he probably would have recommended to hire them. That's when I had the idea of making a video about it. Unfortunately, I noticed that someone else already did it. But after interacting for some time with ChatGPT, asking programming questions, I started to notice that there are some programming tasks where the AI performed very poorly. So I think it's worth to have more than one of these little experiments. After all, doing well in a single interview wouldn't give you a job at Google. You need multiple interviews. Now, last thing before starting the interview. There is the misconception that in a coding interview is about spelling out the correct answer to a programming problem. But this is not true. The programming problem is just one way to check how the candidate would react to tackling a problem that they have never seen before. And it's also a good excuse to have a conversation about technical stuff with the interviewer. I will measure ChatGPT in that same way. As you can see here, I already explained to ChatGPT what's going to happen here. It's already in context that it's like a mock interview with it. Let's go with the question. You are given an array A of integer numbers and two integers K and N. I want you to write a program that finds a window of K contiguous numbers inside the array A such that the biggest number there is less or equal than m. Now let's see the code that the AI wrote here. Okay, find window, receives an array k and all. Okay, interesting. Let's see the explanation. The solution first, the initialize the sliding window with the starting index start. Okay, eh, and the ending index end. It then iteratively expand the window by incrementing end. Okay, it's fair while maintaining the maximum value of in the variable max value. If the maximum value at the window becomes greater than m, the window is contracted by incrementing start, resetting end to start. If a window of size k is found so that the maximum value is less or equal than m, the starting point of the window is returned. If no such window is found, the function return -1. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, I noticed that there is an error here. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT some question and I'm going to see if ChatGPT is able to find its own error. First, this is something that ChatGPT should have done regardless if the code was right or not. And it's checking it with a decent test data. And now I see numbers in ascending order. And this is not really a good test case. It can use the indexes of the array instead of the contents of the array and probably it would still work. Do you think that's a good test data? And which other test uh, do you think are good? Okay, yeah. Can you provide those tests? Hmm. I think it's doing it fine. Ah, by the way, I think I didn't mention what's the error. The error is that it doesn't work with negative numbers because there is one part in the code that when initialize the minimum to 0, and I didn't specify that the numbers are always positive. First, I'm going to ask it to run that code manually with one of the test cases. Maybe 4, 5. Yeah, the first one. You manually run this program with. Okay, I'm going to believe it. um, uh, Now, here is my following observation. Mm, Let's say that my, the window size is 3 and m equals minus minus 4. Okay, I'm not quite convinced this is the output. I will check it myself. As you can see, I just did the copy paste and change the input here. And the result was -1. Some GPT committed a mistake by claiming that this would return something different than -1. And also the uh, result that GPT claimed that was the correct one was not correct. See here. Uh, Here it's expected to find a window of size 3. It's claiming that it finds a window of size 2. I run your code with this test and the output was -1. Also the window that, that you are that you said is the expected output at size 2 rather than size 3, which is the expected size. What do you think is wrong with it? Really? There is no window of size 3 such that the maximum value is less or equal than 4? Sorry. I would not talk like that to one of the candidates. But I'm speaking out loud my own thoughts for you, the audience. GPT is not able to hear me, hopefully. I will have to point that out that there is one window there. Here is this window over here. In case you didn't notice, it's -5, -4, and -10. Uh, there is one window there. -5, -4, and -10, just that I said to you. Okay, at least it's recognizing the mistakes. That's a good point. -4, which is greater than -4. Therefore, the function returns -1. -4 is no greater than -4. Okay, now, uh, yeah, and GPT now recognizes which one is the right answer. But can you fix your code? Mm, uh, it still initializes the max val. Really, I see that exactly the same. I replace this function here, but I think that's the same function. Let's see. Um, it still returns -1. Okay. Um, I it did the same, so I'm going to help it a little bit. I need to give some kind of hint just to allow this candidate to fully express their own skills. Uh, After all, we all have times when we struggle to find one small mistake. Here, the small mistake would be initializing max ball to 0. Oh, now that I see it, this is the code is slightly different. I'm going to run it again just to see what happens. Mm, okay, yeah, it still returns -1. Uh, it still returns -1. And this is the code. You are initializing max ball to 0, but the input can consist on only negative numbers. Could you address that? Now I was more direct. Yes, let's see. Okay. Hmm. Maybe this is working now. However, I need to read it very carefully again in order to know if it didn't introduce new errors. I see, for example, that max val is not initialized again after the start moved, and that can be an issue. The problem here is that because start is not being updated, then it happens that uh, the maximum value may fall outside the window after start is incremented. Can you ask your code again with the last case I provided to you? Return to In this case, the largest number inside the array is at the beginning, so it never gets updated when -2 gets out of this thing. So I'm going to point that out to ChatGPT and let's see how they react. And the result is still -1. What is happened is that when the value of max ball goes outside the window doesn't get F reset or reset. I'm going to say put reset. Maybe it's a misto. Let's see. Here it is, the response. So yeah, let's see. Now, yeah, it's updating the value of max ball. What? Okay, the website was down for a while. This was the code that apparently in GPT fixed. Let's see if it's really fixed. Result 2. Yeah. By the way, usually during an actual interview, the interviewer isn't able to keep doing this, but yeah, it's just tempting to do it right now. Let's run another test case. And this one that we were looking at before. Let's run it. Result 0. This is not a very interesting case because a lot of numbers are less or equal than 7, especially it just takes the first window that it finds. So I'm going to do something more interesting here. Yeah, 0, 1, 2. Okay, this code seems right to me. However, there is another problem here, and it's due to the complexity, the time complexity. What the time complexity of that code? Really? I thought it was quadratic. At least the first algorithm that described it was quadratic. Let's see. Oh, I find another error here. Yeah. By the way, in an actual interview, I couldn't be this open about finding errors. Usually, I try to be more subtle, like giving the hint of checking a specific line or whatever. Uh, but because I know the chat can't hear me unless I write it, I'm spelling all of these things out loud. The issue is that suppose that we are looking for a window of size 3 and the biggest value in all the array, the largest one is E. Then first it will check in this window, then it will check this, then it will check this, and the value the, of the max value would be E. And then after moving to F, the after moving the window here and moving the left pivot here, the max value variable would be reset to be D instead of keeping E. So this problem is somewhat big. Let's see if this is enough. Yes, I'm suspecting that GPT always will tell me that I'm correct. But let's see what it does. Hmm. Now it removed the update of maxval, but the problem here is the max value was always the maximum between the 0 index and the current end index instead of just being inside the window. By the way, when I thought the code was already correct, it was because I was thinking on the first version that GPT generated. Uh, that it does and equal start and maxval equals 0. Um, by the way, I'm being this explicit with my clothes because usually it's a good idea to at least give the candidate the satisfaction of being able to complete something. Spelling out so much help during the interview is definitely not a good sign. Yeah, this seems to be all right now. But the time complexity is that problem. Mm, by the way, that's not true. Or uh, the n variable increase k times each time start increases, and that's not okay. Yep, that's true. Um, okay, and now it's optimizing it. Max element. Um, I think this, uh, if this is receiving two pointers to the beginning and end of an array, this definitively is not of constant order. Uh, with uh, it requires another kind of data structure in order to be able to do this, and probably to efficiently do this. And probably it could be O log n in colon. Uh, Max element is always each time. Doesn't. Okay, it's still trying to optimize it. Uh, uh, in order to clarify, there is a linear time solution for this, and it's very simple. This is again committing the same mistake that it committed many other times. Uh, and we are already out. We are out of time. More than 10 minutes. This interview usually lasts 40 minutes, if I recall correctly. Uh, then the interview is over. Um, Now feedback time. Hmm. This is a sample feedback form for a mock interview. I cannot use the official Google rubrics, nor my memory of being of have read them because they are secret. However, and these ones, I think they are good enough. So let's see how GPT did it. Algorithms, um, candidates failed. Mm, okay, and the candidate found a way to solve the question, but the candidate didn't solve it optimally. Also, I had another two versions of this question to be able to make it more complex in the interview. I most of the candidates um, solved the first solved optimally the first one, the first version, and some others also the second one. The and the third version, I only told about that to one single candidate in all the ones that I presented this question. By the way, don't expect to find this question in a Google interview because this one is from my personal harvest of questions, and I'm not longer at Google, so nobody is going to ask this one. And then I think this is also too. The oh no, the candidate transcribed the algorithm into working code. Let's go for communication. Yeah, if the candidate doesn't talk a lot, how the reasoning process or just stay silent, that's a very bad thing. Overall, GPT just said something here. Yeah, I think GPT communicated at least correctly, but I think it failed to ask for some kind of clarification before going into coding. GPT coded the solution right away, or one solution right away before even asking if this could contain negative numbers or which side it could have. Understanding the problem is the first one of the steps to solve a problem. And at least, even if it understood well the problem, it should have make sure that we were both on the same page. Um, um, I think I will give it a 2 here. Um, sure. It communicated in general, but I don't think it's all the things were clear enough. There were some things that we repeatedly agreed that they were wrong, and GPT kept going back to the same mistakes. Um, maybe it was communication, maybe not, but I also would have expected to ask more questions. Yeah, yeah, this is pretty much that happened. Problem solving skills one. Mm, I don't know if putting two here or one because yeah, yeah, the last solution that presented mm, GPT was wrong, and yeah, and among all the solutions it presented, just one was correct, and it required a lot of help from my part. Um, maybe I would put 1.5. Mm, final score. This would be a strong no higher. And usually I was optimistic about many candidates. And there were many that I just put higher or leaning higher, and they were not higher. But mm, no, this was just uh, this was just too bad. Um, final score bad and giving. This is interview. Did this person, and this is not even a person. So I would say no. Performance, interviewing. Ah, this is this is eh, this is like for giving feedback to myself. So yeah, I'm going to skip this. Interviewer. Oh no, this is out of topic. I'm going to remove it from the video. Uh, then overall GPT wasn't that. No, no. I overall GPT is, I think, is not ready to uh, being able to perform in a full set of Google interviews. Maybe it can get lucky and pass one or two, but as you can see here, and there are still some cases when GPT chat can do it pretty badly. I'm not sure if this is because some mock interview problems are all the interview problems that are already available online with their documented solutions, but this problem, this wasn't the case with this problem. And I don't know which line to say to close this video. Okay, just keep practicing, and I'm going to upload videos again, but I'm not really sure which kind of video. Stay tuned.